It's Ben Shelton playing on down under just moments ago. Match point, he needed 4 sets, 0 backhand winners, couple of push-ups, and he's through past Lorenzo Sonego, 7-6, a tiebreak in the 4th set, outlasting him to make his 2nd career major semifinal. He is the youngest American guy into the semifinals here in Melbourne since a very young Andy Roddick in 2003. Hi, everyone. We have some time to kill before the next match with Mary Jo Fernández and Brad Gilbert. I'm Chris McKendry. Perfect you're here because that was winning some ugly tennis.
You know what? It felt like a match out of the 70s where guys were just coming on each other's backhands and both guys knew what they wanted to do. Ben has a lot of guile. He fights, he hustles, he runs down a lot. And that might have been the most lobs, defensive lobs I've seen in a match. There might have been 45 lobs, and actually it was a couple of overheads that really cost a Sonego.
It was a pressure match. I mean, for Ben Shelton to get back into a semifinal of a Grand Slam, he knew that he had to deliver, and I thought that he was doing really well. Up into the game, he got broken in the 3rd set from 40-love up to lose the 3rd set, and then things got complicated. So good effort by him. No backhand winners, but he had a ton of forehand winners. The forehand inside out was his weapon, and he did great when he came forward. So credit to Ben there to close it out in the 4th.
Late in sets, he seems to get bolder, Ben, on the forehand. I'm not sure I've ever heard of anybody beating 2 Lorenzos, especially from Italy, in one tournament before.
He beat Musetti earlier in this tournament, and this was an area of great opportunity as the 21 seed. Great to see Shelton grab it because Taylor Fritz, the 4 seed, was knocked out of here, and so was Medvedev, the 2 seed. So it's Shelton making the most of an open-looking draw.
And you felt like early on in this match, the match was being played on Ben's terms, and I had the feeling like after that first set, this is 3 and out. You feel like at some point he's going to get in on it.
That was incredible, by the way.
That was an incredible stick save and a gem.
Yeah, look at this.
Mean, look at that.
All the backspin.
Left a little skin on there.
If that had the backspin, Ben would have got there.
Yeah, that thing
but it
jumped
went back
over.
on Sonego's side.
Nice reaction there. He did a little handshake.
This is into the 2nd set. We're 3-all. There it is. One of the big forehand winners, 26 for the match.
That was like 10 feet behind the baseline. That was over 100 miles an hour. But Ben with a little bit of a wobble, in that 3rd set when he lost serve, when he was up 40-love on that one game, gave a reprieve to Sonego, and he took advantage of it to make this a much more difficult match.
So it's Shelton who's moving on. He continues the recent run of American man into a major. Reaches semifinal. Ben Shelton, the Australian Open today. He also went to a semifinal back in the U.S. a couple years back. Taylor Fritz, of course, reached the Open final. And they're all still chasing Andy once again. 2003 U.S. Open.
It's exciting. I mean, for American tennis, they've had a great tournament. Madison Keys winning. She's in the semifinal. For Ben, he's still super young, right? And he's learning, he's getting better. You always say, Brad, that he has such an upside and there's still so much to improve. But as he's improving, he's getting to major semifinals.
The most amazing thing about him is, and you look at his game and you say, God, there's so much room for great growth on the return, the backhand, to hit his serve a lot more. Yet he's still progressing into a 2nd semifinal. And probably his best asset is his ability to have this confidence, to project confidence out on the court, send a message to his opponent, I'm a tough out.
Yeah, well, he always has been. Ever since he made his big debut a couple of years back, was traveling the world, traveling the tour, left the U.S. for the first time in his life, came down here and went straight through to the quarterfinals. We knew we had a guy who liked the big stage. There he is with his team. That's his father, Brian, his coach. Just the nicest guy, as Ben said. He laughed. Caroline Wozniacki asked him the other day, is your dad always so nice? I guess coach and dad maybe.
He is.
Maybe not, but it's a terrific team he has around him.
And some guys would be the opposite. There's guys that are maybe had much better results, careers, but yet they don't perform in slams, feel a little pressure. I do feel like Ben, the way he smiles, the way he relaxes, allows him to play a little freer at the end of sets.
Well, it's interesting that he has a better winning percentage at majors
Much
than he
better.
does during the tour. And I actually asked his dad about it, and he said he feels like at a major, 3 out of 5, he has more time. So even if he were to get broken early in a set, he can recover. He's got more time to recover. So it's an interesting dynamic for him when he plays the Grand Slam events, that he feels like, okay, I can play my best, I can have a little bit of a dip, and I can come back. Whereas in the normal 2 out of 3, if he loses his serve, I think he panics a little bit.
And he also trusts his fitness. You saw him do a couple of push-ups there, throw himself into the sideboard there. But I think that that's been the biggest improvement in his game from about 3 years, is his fitness level and his strength and his belief.
Can't wait to see where he goes next. He already has so much natural ability, the power, the lefty serve. Mary Jo just kept saying, go for it more, go for it more.
I think he gets a little passive. You know, those breakpoint opportunities, had a couple at the end of the 4th, didn't really go after it, and then it was Sonego who was coming to the net. So I think when you're playing a player that's putting that pressure on you, use that big forehand on those big points, send a message. Patrick and John were talking about it.
Sonego came to net 90 times.
That's a lot.
And I mean, it's amazing. And he's not exactly a great volleyer, but 90 times. It felt like a match out of the 70s.
All right, let's continue. Madison Keys is back into a semifinal here down under, 10 years since her big breakthrough at the Australian Open.